President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reminded governors that their leadership at the subnational level is central to achieving rapid national growth. Governors are critical to food security and prosperity, he said. He expressed gratitude for their collaboration while highlighting key areas requiring joint efforts. The president made this statement when Vice President Kashim Shettima and members of the Nigeria Governors Forum paid him a New Year homage visit at his Ikoyi Lagos residence. Tinubu said, "You own the land and the job is in your hands." According to a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu stressed the importance of unity and shared responsibility in driving grassroots development. "You are the most important link to Nigeria's prosperity and development," he said. Quashing rumors of a rift over local government autonomy, President Tinubu reiterated his commitment to fostering a partnership that prioritizes the welfare of the people and strengthens democratic institutions. Calling for stronger collaboration, the president added, "We have to work harder, grow more, and ensure the situation of our currency improves. Nigeria will see prosperity, but it requires consistent effort from all of us." What do you make of this story?
This is a very wonderful statement from our own president of Nigeria. The governors don't need to be informed that they prioritize food security. They should take it as one of the key areas they should focus on. They don't need the president to remind them, because we voted them into power to make things work for the people, and they are there to make things work for all of us. So it's not by the statement of the president that we energize them. They should already know, because in last year, December, all the governors presented their bills, their appropriation bills to the state assemblies, and I believe they placed more premium needs on the agriculture, which I think it will reduce hardship in the country. But however, having the president said so, I was also thinking that the president will make some statement by saying that he's giving some loans to our petty farmers in the country. Okay, that will also add value to what state governors are doing. And to the local government, he talked about autonomy. The local government has failed us over the years, because some of our governors have been using the money meant for development of local government and centralizing it in the state capitals. Okay, so if the money coming to the local government can be utilized according to the needs of the people, I think this cry of hardship will reduce, because they are the closest to the people, and we voted them into power to work in collaboration with the state government and that of the federal government. And I believe this collaboration is going to be efficient, because I've not seen most of the voices criticizing the policies of the federal government, unlike before, when we have governors that will say no to some certain policies being promulgated by the federal government. So this collaboration is for the benefit of Nigerians and for the benefit of all of us.
All right, very well. When you were speaking, you made mention that the president did not talk about, you were expecting that the president would talk about giving loans to agriculturists across the nation.
Yes.
Now that brings into mind when the president talked about collaboration between the tiers of government. Now, to a large extent, a lot of pressure and a lot of criticism has been directed towards the presidency, or will I say towards the first tier of government at the federal level. But nobody is talking about the states. Nobody is talking about, the actions or the inactions of state governors. Nobody is also talking, probably the pressure has not trickled down to local government chairmen, because, the local government autonomy is yet to even fully take effect. But then let's look at the actions of the state governors. You recall that at some point, the federal government came out to say that they had given each of the state governors 5 billion naira palliative funds. Now, though at some point, even some state governors said, yes, it was given, but not that exact amount. But the bottom line is, money was given out. And can you say you felt the impact of that money? do people even know this money was given out? Now, with regards to the removal of subsidy came increased FAC allocations. What it means is that governors now receive more. They have more to spend. They have more to push into infrastructural deficits, to even be, to engender development. But can you say to a large extent that you have felt the impact of these funds?
Too much politicizations of governance. Some of the governors feel that once you are elected into office, you forget about the vehicle that brought you into office. You forget about the parties that brought you into positions of trust. So once you place more of your strength in developing the political parties, then the people are left aside. So they shouldn't have, we don't feel that much, because that 5 billion is not even up to what state generates. State generates huge amount of money, all the state in the federations. So adding values to what the state are generating, this money should have been given directly to the people at the local communities.
How will it be given directly to the people at the local communities? When, in fact, with regards to, let's use Jack, for example, the funds that it's supposed to trickle down to the local government, but now the states, because of the joint accounts, are in control of these funds. How well have state governors made use of local government funds? So how do you intend that money, or how do you think that money will trickle down when, if we are to even use a classical example of the Jack, governors are in charge of these funds and nothing, to a large extent, local communities do not feel the effect of governance?
Most of the local government chairmen, they have been denying that nobody is touching the funds. But for the fact that the development is not forthcoming as expected, in commiserating with the amount they receive every month, the money allocations assigned to each of these local governments is enough to show signs of development. I have the opportunity to meet some of the local government chairmen in Rivers State, and they assured me that the governor is not touching their money. And like few of them that I met, I saw some developmental plans on grants. Some is trying to do 1 or 2 things. Others have done that before. But what we want as a people, like I have said, the councillors were elected, I don't know their jobs. As we speak now, councillors become media aides to chairmen. They don't have any bill, like in my own local government. I have not seen any bill.
The question would be, are these councillors, are they even well-oriented as to what their positions are and what's expected of them?
That is the problem.
You understand? Because you would agree with me that prior to this local government autonomy, most of these positions at the local government level, from the chairman down to councillors, are merely compensatory roles or positions being given to persons who are probably stooges, minions and cronies of whoever the governor at that time is. So if they don't even know exactly, the position is just trusted upon them, do you expect that they will know what that job entails? Do they even have the experience to even carry out their functions in that job?
If it's like we have chairmen of council that have been councillors, like in the case of some ministers today, they've been local government chairmen, they have the experience. If they give you opportunities to serve, it's there to develop yourself, because there are bigger future for you. So chairmen or local councillors that do not know why they are in office, it is a problem to them and the communities that elect them. Because, for instance, it's no more like elections. It's more of like a selection, passing through a process called elections, which actually there was no elections. They pass it through the process of election because we saw ballot boxes, but already they know who is coming into the office. They are already
anointed.
Yes, they are anointed servant. And again, if I were them, there are policies that I can challenge through the bylaw, through the council. Councillor have right to tell the chairman, we don't want this, this is what we want.
Do they know they have these rights?
That they don't know, then they ought to be there.
How that still boils down to what we're saying. Now, you're saying these ought to be the rules.
In 1999, when Obasanjo was the president of this country, I know very well, councillors went for retreat in other states. They will train you on how to appropriate bills, how to make laws and all that, and tell you the importance of your office. And I have also said that the electoral reform should have been that before you will be sworn in, you will be trained. And not only one-time training, retraining and retraining. Even our legislators, hardly before, they just go for retreat and then they lodge and catch fund within themselves, okay? You see mistakes coming from some of our legislators in terms of presenting bills and all that, because they are not well prepared for such position. However, they are our mouthpiece. They are the one to make laws for us. The law they make becomes our laws. Our own right is when they want to make it public hearing, which sometimes don't forthcoming. They invite the supporters of a particular political parties. Sometimes they erode traditional institutions, though it is not in the constitutions for traditional rulers to play any key role in the governance of Nigeria, which I think, as they are amending the 1999 constitutions, even the one amended, as the ongoing constitutional amendment bill is ongoing, I also think with respected traditional rulers have made that input, that create a role for traditional rulers to make input in governance in the country, because we are the gatekeepers of our communities and we know what the people need. The culture and tradition. We know what our people need. So if the councillors have failed, because it's tenure bound, after 3 years, another set of people are coming. Traditional rulers is still there. We still know the need of our people.
The concern with regards to traditional rulers would be, or the traditional stool in this instance would be, that it has been politicized. Wouldn't you agree with me? It has been politicized from, you know, the governor giving a traditional ruler staff, you know, staff of office, to the governor, you know, deciding who becomes what, who becomes first class, second class, third class chief. Is that not ridiculing of the traditional institution that should be held with some level of reverence? Should politics even come into play? Yes, I understand the need that the governor is commander-in-chief of a particular state and he's the chief security officer. He has the say in the governance of the state. But then, you know, when it comes to traditional institutions, the custodians of cultural traditions over the decades down, should it be politicized in the first instance?
The word politicizing the traditional institutions, for me, I've been a traditional ruler for the past 10 years. And that I know no governor has the right to impose anybody, on any community. It is the community that will select or elect who will be a paramount ruler or a first-class king before government will recognize such persons. And in some cases, there are names that we nominate and sign that we have agreed. After check this person, some are hereditary, some are rotationals, some are elected and selected. They see your credibility and you are someone that they are trustworthy and all that. So there is nothing wrong for governors to recognize such individual that the community are so presented.
In the case of Edo State, you know, I have forgotten the name of that community that came to the governor, Mondo Bebelo, to plead, you know, that he should withdraw the authority of a certain paramount ruler, that their paramount ruler was imposed on them by the then governor Obaseki when he was the governor. In fact, a part of that community came, you know, in revolt, and they were actually appealing to the governor that this is not whom they wanted. And we've had cases of even the Olubadons too in Ibadan land. You could recall as last year the issues that surrounded it. I can even take you to Kano Emirates.
Yes.
You understand how the then governor balkanized the Kano Emirates into 7, and much later, you know, another governor came in. So as long as probably whoever is in power, you know, his vision or the traditional ruler at that point is not supporting him, there are always, the governor has the right, in this instance, sometimes through the State House of Assembly, make laws that will balkanize that particular kingdom. It also happened in Benin City. In fact, Obaseki attempted to do that to the Oba of Benin, and the women of Benin, ancient kingdom, you know, went half naked. A lot of things happened. You cannot take away the influence of governors, you know, in the traditional, you know, system and what they have done, and to a large extent, and Kano till now is still suffering from the after effects of that. You still recall even the tussle between the Kano, the Emir of Kano, Sanusi, and his cousin, and the influence of, you know, alleged influence of political vested interest from the federal down to the state in Kano State. So can you take that away?
You know that.
And isn't that to a large extent demeaning the traditionals too?
Actually, when community leaders or communities felt that social person can lead them, for instance, most cases you influence the people with what you have to select you. Sometimes you are not the persons to be there. Or maybe you have one or two connections. Nigeria things is always based on connection. We shouldn't have been like that. Okay. Because as a traditional institutions, and I also blame some politicians, some traditional rulers that play politics in the systems. Because if you are openly coming to an advertorial, supporting a particular political party leaders, or casting aspersions on leaders in the state, traditional rulers belong to everybody. Party A or Party B, they are all your subjects. Like I continue to say, either you're PDP or APC or any political party, you are my subject. My right, the first primary right of every traditional ruler is to advise. And the fear of politicians, they know how powerful traditional ruler is because we are closer to the people. And since they know,
you can
influence decisions of the people who to elect and who not to elect. So they want people that will dance to their tune, which is not right. And if a traditional ruler runs is right, no governors whatsoever can dethrone you. No governor have the right to dethrone. It is only the people that can say, based on your policies, based on your doing, we are tired of the way you are doing things. We don't want you again, with reasons. And it is the right of the governors to set up panel of inquiry and give first-hand hearing from the traditional rulers they accuse. It happened in Imo State sometimes when they say we don't need a particular traditional rulers, and they say, okay, let's set up panels of inquiry. Due process should be followed in everything, because you will not like my face doesn't mean that completely I am no longer important in my own community. You may not like my face, for instance, but that doesn't change my positions. And my position is the position of the people. So bringing it into politics, for instance, me, I'm also against traditional rulers sitting on that canopies and presenting kola nuts to governor. It is wrong. Because as a traditional ruler, as we know, during the era of Obasanjo and in Rivers State, the era of Dr. Peter Odili, if you have a commissioning or flagging of a project in a particular community, it is the right of the governor to pay visit to the king of that place and inform him what you are coming to do in my kingdom. Not that the king will go and sit under the canopy presenting a kola. Some of them even kneel down before a subject, before the governor, who is your subject. And some of us that are traditional rulers, sometimes we don't have such power. If you have such power, like me, I've changed in my own kingdom, you don't stand up for politicians. Politicians, you really want to stand up for me because I have seen other politicians before you are coming. And you will still be former. We don't have former chiefs. We don't have former traditional rulers. But we will continue to have former councillors, former House of Assembly, former governors. Since you know your tenure has time limit, you respect yourself. Well, we respect ourselves. But some of these traditional rulers, they don't want to because of what you want. And what you want sometimes did not reflect in your own community. Because you are talking about developmental project and you are confronting government to bring project to your community. And maybe often the governor is coming to your community to commission project. The governor will also know that you are powerful. You are closer to the people more than him. He will have to give you that honor, that respect. If there's any way we can change this narrative, that traditional rulers don't want to sit on canopies. You invite, for instance, a very respected steward in the country, you permit them to sit in the canopy, and some traditional rulers, the law forbids someone passing their back because of what is attached to the steward. Well, that is why in every palace, you hardly see people passing through the back of a traditional ruler. While sitting down on the canopy, definitely people will be passing through your back. So where is the traditional power? Some tradition, you don't dare cross it. You don't dare cross the front of a traditional ruler. Some tradition, you don't even allow people to stand before you just straight to your face. You don't even see faces of that. So there are things that we need to amend as a people to help development, because all of this drive to the development of our people. If our community is developed and we are civilized, that is why it is also good for local government chairmen to arrange training for traditional rulers. Often training for traditional rulers. It has been long that we have trainings. You know, how to govern, how to place the culture of your people first. Like in my own tradition, they say, Kola don't speak English, but you will see traditional rulers blowing all the grammar because he went to school. Ordinarily, in my own stool, if I sit down there, I don't speak English. I speak the Kana language because my stool doesn't hear English. Because I'm speaking to the people. But you will see a traditional ruler sitting down on a throne, speaking all the grammar, you know, is against our tradition, because the language of the people becomes an identity of the people. Right. When you are not speaking the dialect, you are deviating. So coming back to the to the questions. The governors know their boundaries. While traditional rulers also know their boundaries, that if we are to partner, like the president have said, collaborations, in that collaboration doesn't mean that the governor is looking down on the traditional rulers, because it is our right to present what we want to the people.
All right, very well.